stages of the game. It is absolutely insane. I cannot wait to see this pick.
Well, the final lock-in is going to be Azir to go up against Yagao's Corki. And this is going to be a bit
Set themselves up for Dragon.
very nicely done. And let's bear in mind, the expectation here is DMO are coming in.
Pressure being able to control Rift Herald, they're going to start.
Yeah, this will be the real test for JDG because they've been struggling to pick up Rift Heralds that they win so far this split. Kanavi going to go straight onto Twilight, kicks him the wrong way though, and knockups across the board from Chalitza. Zoom now finds himself completely alone, and he might be Volibear, but he's not invincible. There's a lot of damage, but he's still gone down for first blood. Herald resets. But DMO are in charge. Flash over the wall from Shubin as they get onto Kanavi. CC should be there, and a kill for the Kalista. Now onto Yagao as Lumao goes in, but the Solar Flare hits nobody. Twyla's alone, burning on down, can't finish the kill onto Yagao himself. And this is absolutely nuts. Yagao is going to die to the wolves. Jumped on down. Now onto Mitsuki. Somehow it's 3 for 3. Have the Herald drop to in this mid lane. This might be able to be a tower going down. DMO are committing pretty heavily to this one. The minions won't quite finish it. One more hit from the Herald will, though. Tower goes down. Solar Flare isn't quite going to connect, and Chalitza should walk away.
Dragon, DMO can just give this.
JDG going to be able to smite it. Just Xiaopeng flashed for it, and he's going to force Kanavi away, but the damage is massive from DMO so far. They have a huge gold lead. Xiaopeng falls, though. Keep your eyes on Logan. He's getting chased down, but he survives for now. Shubin can't get onto him. Zoom looking to get over the wall. He still has his flash available. Stormbringer, or Sky Splitter, sorry, comes through Yagao as well. It's not the same story on DMO's side. Shubin wants to change that, though, as he goes in onto Loken. He's locked up by Lumao himself, though. Shubin's in trouble. One more hit would do the job, but Loken can't quite get in range. In goes Yagao with the Valkyrie TP, and that's a double kill on the court plates. And it's Loken and Yagao that are going to be able to happily sweep up all of that gold.
I mean, you were just highlighting how fed these parries were in JDG. 4, 1, and 2 for Yagao.
Again, in terms of gold, we're now even. JDG have managed to catch up with that. It will go slightly in favor of DMO with this tower dropping, but ultimately, right, if we do get to a situation where we go super long, hang on, we don't have time for this. Chalitz has been found, and Zoom is here to block his escape. I mean, this is just going to be one dead Ornn. He doesn't have any teammates near him, and he falls down.
This bottom lane, but they do need to keep this mid turret up.
Xiaopeng moves in, Mitsuki as well. Lantern goes down there, but I don't think he's going to be able to grab it. Zoom.
So much CC that's coming through from the Leona, from this Volibear as well. I think maybe opting for some of these tenacity through, or at least tenacity somewhere in the kit, could have worked out well for him.
Well, Dagda, if we didn't have enough action already this game, it's going to be Xiaopeng here. But this squad from DMO are not that tanky just yet. With a Black Cleaver for Zoom already, the armor will be shredded real quick. They're on to Zoom, but that's not really the ideal target. Knockup goes wide on everyone. Chalitza not able to find it. In goes Lumao to start this fight off. Shubin dodges the stun though. In goes Zoom onto everyone. There's a bear in town, and his name is Yogi. Double kill comes down for the Volibear, and now Kanavi could be in trouble himself as Shubin is desperate to carry. Zoom gonna chase him down. Kanavi's there with the Sonic Wave, and Xiaopeng falls as well. Suddenly it's
already leaving to start pushing in this mid lane. This is what we expected from JDG coming into this.
Well, so far so good for JDG. After a shaky first few minutes of the game, it has to be said, they have very much come into their own. You mentioned the power spikes on Corki, you mentioned the power spikes for Zoom on one item. They're very much showing us what that's all about.
Yeah, you can see how big Zoom, even if he wants to just ult in, mass AoE slow off the right story, but here we go.
Lumao goes in once again. Empress Divide is going to keep the rest of his team out, though. So Lumao is alone and taken down very early on in the fight. Twilight is stuck, though. Pushed back. The turret isn't going to help you anymore. Wrecker, baby, as Zoom is still going to fall down. And it's going to be 2 kills going the way of DMO. This is the way to turn the game around. But Natural caught out and finished off. That's the Kanavi we've been looking for.
Yeah, man, he was talking about how Ezreal does pretty well into this Aphelios because he can keep it at arm's length. That's not what Kalista does.
No, and it's not what Mitsuki's doing right now either. Box to try and keep himself safe, but the Sonic Wave is there. Kanavi not going to feel it. It's going to be Lumao. Support all combat here as we go straight on in with everybody else. Nice Emperor's Divide, though, to try and turn things around, but it's not going to turn anything around. DMO, honestly, maybe not, though. Halo Blades is going to do a whole bunch of damage. All he needs to do, though, is deter this dragon. He doesn't actually have to.
He killed Xiaopeng.
Oh. Xiaopeng, you knew he was there. You knew he had rockets. I don't know what you were thinking, mate. Needed to go for an early smite at very least. Here we go, though. Yagao wants the 1v1. Oh, look at his damage onto oh, my days. Just about gets away with his life. The Valkyrie's on cooldown, though, and the whole squad is here from DMO. Goodbye, Yagao. This could be the Dragon, but now he's going to be able to find much of a way in, though. Bear in mind, Xiaopeng's still down, so this should be the Dragon going the way of JDG. It's just if there's a fight afterwards, that's where we could have some trouble. Face call from Shubin. The Dragon is about to go down, taken by Kanavi. Now they go in. Great Emperor's Divide, trying to get damage out, but he's just not fed enough. Shubin dancing around, but again, these carries don't do anything. Twyla and Shubin both fall down, and that's going to be the support staff taken with him.
Yeah, everything's gone disastrously for DMO in this one. 23-7 on the scoreline. And when it actually started out looking pretty good for DMO, again, we see when it gets to this mid-game point, they just can't quite keep up.
Now straight down the mid lane for JDG, and this is a little bit more of what we wanted to see out of this squad. It's felt lackluster so far in summer. It's felt like the team wasn't really firing on all cylinders, and granted, there have been some mistakes this game. Granted, they're against DMO, but hey, a win is a win is a win, and at least it's convincing.
It is convincing once we got past the early game, and I think that's the problem when
really great play from JDG and much more of DMO. Not realizing that that's a fight they absolutely can't take. Twyla gonna get the Empress. You can't keep him away from you. In with the Stormbringer and down with the Emperor.
And you can see now Zoom even opting towards that death stance. He's got enough tankiness in that Righteous Glory, enough engage in that Righteous Glory. He's going to be happy to start pushing forward now into that more damage-oriented volley bear we love to see. And DMO, they're falling by the wayside here. Shubin not really in a position now to try and carry. You can see that Twyla is struggling on this Azir to really be a factor in these fights, with just how heavy this engage from JDG is and how relentless Kanavi, Zoom and Lumel are.
Now down the top lane they go. Bear in mind that mid inhib was already taken, and Loken's just going to force that wave in the mid side as he moves on up to the rest of his team. He's got a blast cone to get there as well. This will be a second inhibitor. Just, ladies and gentlemen, look at the gold difference. There is no universe in which DMO can win a fight against JDG right now.
There really isn't. It's painful to watch, but DMO are going to struggle to keep these Nexus towers. One final engage.
Chalitza finds a knockup, but there is absolutely no follow-up. And that's just going to be on all down.
Nice, cool.
Suboptimal engage! Loken! That's not allowed! That shouldn't be allowed!
He managed to hit the Q, he manages to get the damage, and Mitsuki is going to be the benefactor of a big old amount of shurikens. Shurikens?
Is that when it's a hurricane with shurikens on it? Yeah, I like it.
Twyla's gone in.
Nice little knockup from Twyla, but ultimately Zoom is practically invincible. Solar Flare as well, and the carries are here. Down goes Xiaopeng. Chalitza's not tanky enough. And Yagao, he's going to survive with the heal. This is going to be the Nexus falling, and this is going to be game one from JDG. Not a perfect game, but a win nonetheless over DMO.
From the Azir ban, but definitely they are looking to get into your face and try and just cause so much disruption in these fights.
Chalitza goes with the Ornn once again.
Looking at this big engage from the Ornn, and if you don't have Flash, like right now, you'll be in a little bit of trouble.
We've got a little bit of a weird audio thing going on, but we'll be able to fix that hopefully for you guys. And we've got First Blood coming up, I've just been told by the announcer. It's going to go the way of Shout 1v1 Kanavi a bit.
Well, we're going to have to see how this does go, but here we go.
I don't think it's going anywhere. Twyla already flashing, but Lumao to follow in with the Q, but it's only going to be a slow. Yagao gets the kill, though. Xiaopeng in 1v3 and gets a kill. So actually trading it back.
1 for 1, and both of those mid laners going down. With where the wave is, it's going to be a win for Twyla. Top lane, there's some trading going on.
Chalitza, I thought was going to win the trade, but in the end, one last little staff slam from Zoom and a flash with a death sentence. Xiaopeng is already huge right here. The TP is suboptimal to say the least. Jumps into the middle of three of them, but Kanavi is here DPS in a way. Shubin jumps into the fight as well. Loken is here on Aphelios and could sweep up some kills right now. He's looking for Belisa, but he won't be able to get onto him. Mitsuki, sorry. Belisa is a different player from a different league. In they go, but back Yagao is once more. Xiaopeng will fall as well, and Loken grabs his first.
That was so messy.
What is this
I don't
series?
know what's going on, but when we look at it, okay, Twyla has now got 2 kills. Oh wait, we're not done. Lumao is still hunting here.
Oh my goodness, Twyla's here. No flash available. I think Valk's on cooldown as well. And Lumao seals the kill.
The cold coming in, as we talked about, look, DMO, we're looking to scale to that 2 items, so you've got time to get that cold to pop and then be useful. But we go Zoom top lane.
He already used the Warrior Trick, so that's going to be the Cyclone used now as well. Chalisa gets the knock up here. Xiaopeng with the Sonic Wave in. Will find his hat trick now. Kanavi wants to answer, but he can't do anything 2v1.
It doesn't have that level 6 either.
Oh.
Lumao is here.
It ain't 2v1, it's 2v2 right now. Lumao is going to get knocked up. Sonic Wave on in as well. So close to finishing him off, and Chalisa going to flash to try and get the kill. Not the greatest flash, I have to admit, but they might still be able to finish this one off. Exhaust down onto Xiaopeng. There's a volcanic rupture, and now onto Kanavi as well. The Spring Champions.
They will get this dragon though, and at least start themselves onto the right.
Finish this tower off before Zoom ever arrives. Very nicely done here by DMO. And for the second game running here, they're the ones to get the first tower. Impactful, but it's always nice to have. Shubin once again feeling the pressure in this bottom side of the map. Dark Passage is terrible from Mitsuki, but it's going to be good enough. Now pulling them in, gets the play onto Lumao, forces the flash. Twyla has arrived. Yugao is waiting off in the wings. I don't think this is a particularly good fight anymore. Tempered Fate now onto Twyla. There's no follow-up available. Chalisa arrives, gets the knock-up onto Loken. They're going to try and turn this one. Double stun from Lumao. And this is why we call him the
Early game, not so hot, but it starts to get to that 12 to 15 minute mark, and they're coming online again.
They're feeling good about this. Important to say as well, Chalisa will be able to do a lot to disrupt this fight. And JDG, they're going to respect the lead that DMO have, I guess. Just like I don't have to build Mortal Reminder, I can kill an Aphelios kind of deal. Here we go, Shubin's oh my goodness gracious.
They do get the charge in the mid lane. They're still looking to crack through this. Chalisa can't really do too much. Twyla is eventually going to clear the wave, but it's too little too late. And JDG now still putting their stamp on this game. That gold lead that is still relatively even is now starting to get slightly in favor. The back of what they just saw out of Yagao, though, I'm pretty sure they don't want to fight against JDGs. And you have that teleport. DMO are starting to, or sorry, JDG are starting to posture around this fight.
Oh, they found a pick. The magical journey is mystical and wonderful, and Twyla hates his life right now.
Yeah, that's
with that Ornn ultimate on cooldown, all you can really rely on is Mitsuki finding a miracle hook. And Zoom has been, I mean, there's not a whole lot to say about that one. Just CC'd finished off. Yugao teleports in. Xiaopeng going to be jumping over to the rest.
Yugao is in behind DMO here. This could be perfect angle for him.
They're going to go for the straight up 5v5. Chalisa gets the knock up onto Loken in the meantime. And Yugao can't actually finish anyone off. Zoom with a huge Cyclone though. Oh, and he's won the fight by himself. Look at that. Double on the monkey. Chalisa cut down as well. And that is Baron open one. Moving on into the side, but Yugao is there to stop them contesting. He's trying to start the fight himself, but Zoom's in trouble. Damage coming on through, but Shubin can't quite finish the kill. Sonic Wave there. But that's the smite now. Unavailable for the fight. Loken with the 1v1. One more auto, but he can't quite find it. This is what you were talking about. Oh! The Calibrum snipe!
They just about managed to get Shubin. They will get that Baron. They will get the Dragon, putting them onto Soul Point as well. An heroic effort from Xiaopeng and from Shubin to try and stall that, try and stop them.
Been looking a little bit more like a bargain bin right now as the Dragon started up. Xiaopeng isn't here. This is just smiteable for the side of Kanavi. He doesn't have Flash, but he does have Smite.
Aggressive stance forward and run through DMO.
And honestly,
Weil as well is not really getting to a point where he's strong. So Loken has been so far accelerated. He's working towards that death stance now. He's in great shape.
Xiaopeng makes an effort for it, but it's not quite going to be able to get a kickback. It's just going to go sideways on that one. And now they're going to try and continue this fight. Anyway, Chalisa just charging on forward. Tempered Fate, though, ruins everything. JDG keep him at arm's length because they've got Yugao in the bottom lane right now, who is just going to be wailing all over this turret. He's got himself a Medjai's. He's got himself his Proto Drake and his Zhonya's. He is massive.
And he's got himself a Corki ult now as well, so he can do some work underneath these structures. But now you're going to see JDG taking that turret top, moving in. Xiaopeng trying to make something happen on the bottom side. Means it's 4 versus 3 on the top.
Yugao could be in trouble though, because Xiaopeng wants to get on into him. Sonic Wave available, and he will land it onto Yagao, but he can't win this 1v1. Needs Twyla to catch up sooner rather than later. So news use Kingslayer will be able to keep him safe as Zoom comes in as well. Cyclone as he gets kicked away, but he still knocks up Xiaopeng, and Yagao finds the 1v1 in the meantime. Goodbye, the Baron minions blast him down.
And you're still losing topside as DMO as well. JDG are taking everything, Munch.
This is a disaster for DMO, and JDG once again break the base. As soon as these guys get Baron, they will take everything. Both sides of the map now being torn apart. They don't have minions in the mid wave, but they might be able to just keep things going anyway. I think that they're going to back away. Working out for JDG.
You go back off in this top side, still trying to escort minions in, just creating numbers advantages in this mid wave.
And if this inhib falls, that might just be everything, honestly, in the way of JDG. Mitsuki misses the knockup. They get onto Lumao, but he just hops over the wall and keeps himself safe. In the meantime, Yagao has a 1v1 with Xiaopeng that he's not going to win because he's kicked back and forced. He's outnumbered now. Can they finish this one off, though? Oh, the double Zonyas comes on through, keeps himself safe. And that's why we love the Silas coming in here. Twyla doing some work with the package. Loken's still alive, though, and that's all that matters for JDG as they start to cut everybody down. Shubin flashing to safety, but one more auto. He gets onto the fountain and keeps himself safe. That might just be enough here as they start to take some members down. Loken's still on the turrets, though, in the meantime. Shubin has got to do something about this Aphelios. The Nexus is going to fall. DMO down 2-0 as JDG grab themselves their second win.
JDG managed to find the second win. Saw the 1v1 versus Shubin looking really strong. So I think fair dues to Loken and Yagao, who, as we talked about, haven't been the mainstay carries for this team. They've been substituted or at least working with Kanavi, now stepping up and being their own carries. I
mean, Loken especially, looking great on the Aphelios. You saw it during Champion Select. As soon as that was locked in, he was laughing to himself. Yeah. He was like, I can't believe they give me it twice. And, I mean, looking amazing. Both games, he got the MVP in game number 1. I think it was like, what, 11-0-11 or something along those lines. That, Game number 2 looking just as great on the Aphelios.
Yeah, and taking over the game once again. I mean, they even in the bottom lane as well, we saw how far behind Shubin was put. This was just off the pressure from Lumao, from Loken, and great on them to be able to put that pressure down. Lumao on his signature Bard as well, helping out massively there. We love seeing him on this pick because those Tempered Fates look great. The Cosmic Bindings can be amazing as well. So even if the whole team isn't coming together, at least we're still seeing some standout performance individually.
Yeah, and ultimately as well, Kanavi here, I don't know if we're going to start seeing more of this Ignite Smite Graves coming on through, if this is just some kind of crazy thing that's been happening in solo queue that's about to become meta, but if not, this is just Kanavi saying, look, there's no way we lose to DMO. I'm just going to mess about. I'm going to play with Graves. I'm going to bring Ignite to the table.
Yeah, he's got a style on him, and didn't really get that opportunity, though. I mean, we got that one invade where Yagao ends up dying at level 1, and you're kind of looking at the 4 members of DMO moving in here, and you can see the calculations of, wait, we've got no flash on our jungler. How the hell do we get out of this 3v4? But it's Yagao ends up paying the price, and from that, though, Kanavi couldn't really get into the jungle, which is why we saw, at least until that 15-minute mark, that we were still fairly even on gold. Even actually for a large portion of the game, we're fairly even on gold. But eventually, JDG do hit that point where they find that team fight, they get the Dragons, they get the Barons, and it's all said and done from that point.
Yeah, and so much of that early game, so much of that mid-game was down to Yagao on this Silas. I mean, we saw the fight, it was around the top side of the map. Yagao basically just like 1v2'd, 1v3'd, and you can see there on the damage, he was the one right at the very top, which, you know, against a Corki and an Ezreal with an Aphelios on your team, topping the damage table as Silas is damn impressive.
Especially when you've got the likes of this Ornn, you've got the Lee Sins that's fresh. The Lee Sin can do a really good job of kicking you away, Thresh can keep you out, Ornn ultimates can be a nuisance, but Yagao did a really good job of navigating these team fights and getting himself into a position where he could be the big carry for the squad.
Yeah, absolutely. Really, really well played from Yagao. And across the board for JDG, like, sure, it was not perfect gameplay, but ultimately, it's a second win on the board. They're now going to be even on the standings, and this early in this split, let's bear in mind, this is week 4, so we're getting towards the halfway mark, but going from 1-2 to 2-2 is a bit of a moment where you can breathe out, right? Like, at least they're even. At least they're going to be around the middle of the table. And with a 2-0 victory as well, they now have a positive win-loss ratio with 5 wins and 4 losses.
Yeah, well, I mean, we got to look at their counterparts here, right? DMO, unfortunately, now sitting 0-5. Haven't been able to, as you said, pick up a single win there. So 0-10 in game score. They're starting to look very much like the V5 from spring. And this is not where you want to be, and when they're still trying to figure out how do they actually want to play, what's this roster going to be, who's going to be playing where, it's not looking pretty. It's looking very, very similar to the stories we had for V5 in spring.
It's not quite as bad as V5 yet.
Yeah.
Let's bear in mind that V5 were playing Nico AD carry by this point, and
was it at this stage already?
I'm not sure, to be honest, but they gave up, as far as I remember, they gave up pretty early in the split and started playing Mole in every single lane and just messing about with it. At least DMO is still playing proper League of Legends. At least they're still playing the meta. At least they're still clearly trying. It's just definitely, there seem to be some issues when it comes to the way that they draft, but also the way that they try and execute those drafts. We saw in game number 1 going for the Kalista, and then drafting a composition that Kalista didn't really fit into. Then game number 2, their draft was way more cohesive, but they didn't really play around their spikes. They didn't really play around their win conditions.
And that's where we're kind of looking at it here. And even their team fighting wasn't quite there. It would look like maybe they'd have the opportunity for Twilight to carry on this Corki, but not getting the wards down to spot out where Yagao was meant that he could get into the back line and then it's just straight onto Twilight because he knows that's the mainstay carry. I think as well, when we look at Shubin and Mitsuki, this bot lane for DMO has been a big talking point because they just don't seem to be able to match up. And for anyone who doesn't know, it's both Helper and Shubin were the DMO youth AD carries who got brought up onto the main roster, but they just haven't been able to catch up with the caliber of teams that we have in the LPL and caliber of bot lanes we have in particular.
Yeah, it's not been working out for them. Twilight as well this series had a bit of a hard time because he was up against Yagao. Well, we've got some highlights of Yagao because he just looked insane on this Silas. So many ridiculous moments from him this series.
And this was the one time we saw Kanavi's Ignite actually coming in, manages to give over that first kill, and from there, Yagao just went absolutely nuts. That was him demolishing Shubin. And then in this fight as well, this was the fight that set up JDG to take over. You can see Gold dead even at this point, but off of that nice kick onto that nice kick onto Twyla sets up Zoom for the engage, and from that JDG are able to pick up so many opportunities.
And it was just that Yagao was completely fearless this game. He was always going in. Quite often it felt like Yagao was essentially a frontline character for the side of JDG because he had so much healing.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's what the King Clayer does, right? You're able to get in super aggressively into these fights, and when you're ahead, you feel so strong. That's with the HI So's there, you can see there, picking up a few more stacks for himself, but yeah, Yagao, well earned for that MVP.
You criticized them trying to TP down to save Zoom early on in the game, but then, because of that, Zoom makes his move up to help Yagao later. They scratch each other's backs, you know, they're a team here. 5, 3, and 8 for Yagao as he grabs himself the MVP.
Yeah, and I mean, look, you can see kill participation super high, the damage percentage as well, nearly 30% there, and especially on a Silas, which does struggle to have some big impacts in these fights, especially when you get to the later stages, and there's a huge amount of CC on this DMO side. You get an amazing job of being able to hit that carry spot.
Yeah, I mean, Silas ultimately, a lot of the time it's just down to what ultimates you can get, right? And he was definitely managing to make it work out for himself. Did you see the box damage? There was one fight in the mid game where he gets the box from Thresh, drops it, and it did like half of Thresh's health. But Suki was just like, all right, I'm out. Sod this. I'm not fighting you anymore. But yeah, fantastic win here for JDG. Confident win for them. And maybe a few things that need fixing in the early game. But ultimately, against DMO, this was an expected result. I came in here today expecting a 2-0 from JDG, and that's exactly what we've got at the end of the day.
The thing is, though, we still have to see them face off against a lot of these top teams, right? So they already have a loss to Top Esports. They have a loss to RNG. We're going to be looking at them in the future.